Yeah, so we're diving into the news that are coming up this week. We have CPI, Consumer Price Index, and PPI, Producer Price Index, and we know how these reports might impact the crypto markets. Plus, stick around for some exciting news because we are doing the trading challenge. I'm hosting that. I know I haven't given too much details for it, but we're gonna talk about it today. And in this challenge, you could win some real cash. So I'm really excited about it. I already loaded my account, so I'm gonna trade with you guys. So let's kick it off with some of the key economic data that's coming out. Now, we have the CPI, like we said, PPI. That's very important. And if you're not familiar, CPI measures the inflation and it's looking at the prices consumer pay for goods and services, while PPI tracks the price changes producers are facing. So both of these reports are super crucial indicators of the inflation trends. And right now, inflation is one of the biggest concerns for the Fed, right? So, why does this matter for crypto? Well, inflation directly influences the central bank policies, right? Especially interest rates. So, if CPI and PPI data show that the inflation is still running hot, we could see the Feds continue to, make no decisions, raise rates, but he will definitely not cut rates, right? So, this tends to put pressure on risk assets like stocks and crypto. So this that they actually struggle in a high rate environment, so we don't want that. On the flip side, if the reports show signs of easing of the inflation, we could see some relief in the markets, and risks assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example, might react really, really positively, right? So definitely something that we need to keep an eye on, as it could influence the volatility of the markets. Now, the Federal Reserve interest rates decision is actually scheduled for March 19 or 20. I'm gonna lie, I'm not sure. It's either 19 or 20, but it's the third week of March. Now, it's not really anticipated that he's going to cut rates in this meeting. Imagine if that happens, that's going to be really good. But it's, I think, more likely scenario is that he's going to start cutting rates around June, right? And if that's the case, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, let's have a look at the markets today. We're doing a private stream only for us. I don't know how many people are in right now. Let's have a look. You guys say hi in the chat real quick. And of course, everything disappeared. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. That's good. Okay, we can see the charts and everything. Let me know in the chat. Let me move a little bit like this so I can see what you guys are saying in the chat. I have a $1 bet on the poly market that Fed will raise rates this month. If they do, I'll get 35x. That's really fun. Okay, poly market. See, I've never actually done that, but that's very interesting. Yeah, 35x because it's not very likely. Hi, Diamond Eyes. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for being here. Let's put the music a bit higher for you. Let me know if that's good. A little bit of vibes. Okay, so we are currently, what are we now? We are at 2 o'clock, almost market open for the US session. Now, me and who else in the chat? We were looking for shorts today. I'm looking at Discord right now. We were looking for shorts. Let's see, were we chatting in the general chat together? One of our members on Discord is using the indicators, and he's also seeing the exact trades that I'm seeing today, which is really, really nice to see. You guys, I highly recommend to get those indicators. Honestly, they really, really help me to make my decisions in the markets. And yeah, I've been using them for a lot of time, and I'm looking to develop some more indicators for you guys that are a little bit more specific and that will help you on the entry, because having these 3 indicators, yes, they're good, but also you have to be a little experienced in the markets to use them. All right, and if you're not, hi Anupam, and if you're not, then you might be like struggling a little bit in a way to find the entries. So I'm going to develop a bit more specific indicators for you guys, working on this now together with a course. I think that would be very, very cool for everyone. Bass is here. Hello. You guys, the reason I'm not live today is because I wasn't feeling very well, but I'm here for you guys. And let's see what's going on. So as we can see, market is opening right now. It is completely in an undecision area. Overall, I'm still bearish. A few reasons for that. First of all, on the 4-hour, we have our strategy telling us that Bitcoin is still bearish, and ultimately we're still in a bearish trend. And of course, if we look at the traditional markets, they have been absolutely teeting it. So it hasn't been very, very nice. The interesting thing though is that I had this support resistant or support and resist that used to be support turned into resistance or whatever, the other way around if you want, for Nasdaq, which is here at 19,299, and we can see that this is reacting almost perfectly from it right now on a daily time frame. So what is that telling you? It is telling you that this candle to the upside is a short-term bounce that could potentially turn into actually something substantial. However, thankfully, we have the rest of our indicators that are telling us that we're not actually done yet. We have the target of $17,343 for Nasdaq, which is crazy. And I'll tell you why it's so crazy, because from here, that's another 10% drop, right, on Nasdaq. And we know that when the traditional market starts dropping, Bitcoin is supposed to drop as well with them. Now, if we look at the S&P 500, same thing. There is a little bit of divergence. The Nasdaq is showing a bullish target. The S&P 500 is showing a bearish target, but I am still bearish. Same thing, same target. Price is bouncing from here, but if we go on a daily time frame, we can still see absolutely the same scenario. We have another 8 to 9%. We just had Jolt's opening. Let's have a look at the news. Jolt's opening, that was news for today. Actual 7.74 million, expected 7.65. Let's see how the market is reacting on that. This is not such a big thing, actually. We shouldn't get such a huge reaction, so that's not that important. Also, same thing for Dow Jones. Dow Jones been heavily bearish. Absolutely same thing, 10% to the downside because we have this liquidity. So it's a very, very similar story. You guys, overall, we are bearish, right? We need to accept that, and that's it. We need to ride the wave. If we have some buys on the short term, that's fine. But yeah, there is always a case scenario where we can get a bounce from here, but is it going to be long-lived? Let's get rid of some indicators. Is it going to be long-lived, right? This is what we don't know. From here, if we start getting some relief, we have so many resistance zones that we need to look out for at the 89,200, at the 91,000. So potentially we can go up to that zone and then reject again, right? But we have the previous weekly high here, so this is going to be a good target. And we had the sell zones from last week, right, at the 95,000 and around this area, this sell zone around the 98,000. These areas are still valid. However, it's going to be a lot of work for us to get to those areas. And right now, all I'm seeing is everyone is trying to buy the dip because everyone is scared not to miss it. And this is just giving me the vibes of people getting absolutely wrecked in the market, just going for people's emotions, absolutely, and just wrecking everyone. So the reality is that we can get another drop. Okay, so I don't want to scare you guys, but we can get another drop. And then it looks like, the first areas that we're going to be looking at is around the 75,500. This is a very good zone. Why it is a very good zone? Because it's it's a weekly order block that we have here, and as well on top of that we have a nice fair value gap on the 4-hour, which I have told you guys, when you have the 4-hour, not the 4-hour, any fair value gap actually, and in combination with a order block or a breaker block, it works really, really well. So this is going to be one zone that is very interesting. Now, the other zone is going to be this breaker block over here. Let's mark it together. This breaker block over here, right, which also correlates with a fair value gap. So for me, that is going to be another zone of interest that I'm looking to buy, right? But the reality is like this: if Nasdaq and all the other assets start dropping, we are now actually literally looking for a drop to that's going to be a bit more substantial. So now we're going to be looking at around the 69K level areas, because if Nasdaq and S&P 500, you guys, start dropping like this, you can forget that we're just going to do 7% down, like the same amount. Like, it's not going to happen. It's going to be more. And the first next zone that I have booked for that is starting at the $69,000 area. Right? We don't want to see price dropping below $65,000 with a body close. We don't want to see that, because if we start seeing that, now it's bear market vibes. We don't want to see that. So because we're in a bull market, even that retrace is going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be absolutely healthy retrace. We're ready for it. We can live with it. Okay. Question is, where are we going to take chances, and do we want to take chances, right, for small trades, or do we want to wait for big zones, right, such as the 75,556, such as the 73,036, right, and such as the 69,383? Yes, we have three. Now these are three big trades that we can trade. We can actually put on and be like, okay, like this is, a safe thing that I'm doing right now, because we're expected to find a lot of support in these zones, right? And also another thing I want to tell you guys, which is really, really important. So listen up. When we have that drop, I want you to think of this candle here, for example, right? Think of this candle here. Now, it's going to be something similar. Think of this candle, right? It's going to be a massive wick candle to the downside that is going to happen so fast that it's not going to give us any opportunities for long. And then we'll wake up in the morning or whatever time during the day, and we'll find ourselves somewhere here, let's say, of this candle, and our stop loss is going to be so huge that now we're thinking, oh my god, like, is this really worth it? I wanted to enter this on a leverage to make some money, but now I can't because the wick of the candle was like this, right? Which is insane. So which is why what I do is I find my zones and I put orders in, and I'm like, okay, these are my own orders. And by the way, this is how I catch my trades, like on the big trades that I catched on Solana, on Ethereum, when price was going up, like the 55x lev that I did, is because of zones like that and buys that I taken in the exact same way, right? Because this is what happens. Look, right? 49K final damage candle. Like, it's a massive wick to the downside. So that is potentially what's going to happen now, because they don't want anyone to be able to catch like such a perfect entry, right? Because what might happen next, they might put the candle, might go up, and then they might retrace, right? But if you've entered here, you're fine, because you have your entry at stop loss. You've already taken some profits, for example, and you don't care if you're taken out or not, right? I mean, of course you care, but it's not that painful. Do you know what I mean? So Yes, I mean the market makers. Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, of course, because essentially, you want to be trading with them. You don't want to be trading against them. So for today, I had this little short setup. This was with the idea, very simple, right? We have this. We had on Bitcoin this sell zone, and I just wanted for price to return back to it, and then actually tap into a more substantial liquidity zone at around this level. I think it's pretty precisely was at the 82,000 on the 15-minute, I think, if we go. Yes, so this is a zone of resistance. So I wanted price to go all the way up to it, so I am able to take shorts. Now, I'm not tagged in this trade because price didn't reach exactly to my entry, but I'm fine with it. I'm still waiting for some more volatility because you never know. They might be just trapping people now to enter shorts and then liquidate them and then start the move to the downside. So that's fine with me. Even if I miss out on the trade, I don't feel bad at all, right? I don't want to be FOMOing in like I did on Monday, because that's not a very good quality that I want you guys to learn from me. Yeah, we don't want that. So anyway, no FOMOing. This is what it is. This is where we're at. If price goes down from here, that's fine. We're waiting for our zones to pick up on some buys, and that's it. In terms of Ethereum, right, price had this breaker block this morning, and it's showing that it's still very weak. This is weakness, right? If it's formulating a breaker block like this and then it's breaking through it and retesting, it's supposed to continue, but it's not. So that's showing me weakness right now. All right. In terms of long term for Ethereum, it could get not so pleasant, but our buy zone for ETH is all the way around here. Unfortunately, we have this bottoms down here that could also potentially be a target, but this area should hold now for real. Right? But my first buy zone for ETH is gonna start around 16,400 16, what is that, 1,644. That's going to be the first area that I'm looking for on ETH. Right, there is multiple fair value gaps as well on the weekly too. So this whole thing here is a buy zone. This whole thing. Why? Because we have this double bottom of the liquidity up here, right? And then on top of that, we're in between the 0 and the 0.236. So that's all extremely cheap. So what we're getting right now are really, really cheap prices, right? We know that we're not in a bear market yet. So these are just some major opportunities for us right now. That's how I'm seeing it. So yeah, this is the zone. We don't want to see price go below that, right? But we can potentially, if it starts getting really ugly, we could get another. We can just easily go into the 50% of this buy zone, right? Which is around the 1,550 level easily, or beyond it, right? We can wick it as well. Which bullish catalyst do you see yet? Maybe the election and the BTC reserve was the top. I don't think that was it, to be honest with you. I think we're gonna get higher prices for sure this year. I cannot tell you when the bull market is gonna finish, but I can tell you that I'm speaking to these like financial astrologers. By the way, I'm gonna bring them on the channel as well. You will absolutely love that. But don't forget, they're financial astrologers, so that means that they don't start anything as soon as for example, if we have Mercury retrograde, you probably heard that on Instagram Reels or whatever, but Mercury is a planet that goes retrograde 3 or 4 times every year, and everything slows down when this happens, and they don't recommend anything to like contracts to be signed. Like everything happens slow. Thank you, Mozi. I'll just call you Mozi because I can't see your whole name, but thank you so much. So yeah, they are saying that they think that the bull market is gonna run until May, and it's actually crazy because they have a specific date for some reason, and I've marked it in my calendar. They say that 12th of May is going to be a very, very important date. Now, do I believe that 100%? No. I think that we might have an extended bull run, but I don't think the bull run is over. I think that's going to be crazy if that's the case. I think that just Trump came in and the market needed a correction, and right now everything that he does is like, if the market goes down, he doesn't care, because to be honest, he can blame it on the previous administration, right? So if something happens right now, he can just go ahead and blame it on the previous administration, and he's trying to fix things, right? So things, imagine if he creates like even more crisis right now in the markets, and then when things start getting better, he can say, hey, I did that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Bullish catalysts, to be honest, could be anything. Could be news, could be raids, rate cuts, right? That might happen. So I'm very excited about that. Let's have a look at Sol. Sol is not looking very good because it's already reaching our buy zone, and we know that from here we're gonna have another 13, let's say 14, 15% drop. So that means that we might even see prices go below $99. But since this is our buy zone, I don't know why I have 2 buy zones. Let's delete this one. Price might potentially wick the area of $97.96. I don't want it to go lower than that. Like, it's very possible that it drops lower, that it clears that low here, for example. What are we looking at? 78,508. But I really am not fond of that, and I don't see anything to buy off of in this area. I absolutely see nothing. So I think that this is still going to be the area that's valid, and I'm just going to be looking for entries in this buy zone here on the lower side of the buy zone, with a potential of this buy zone being wicked to some extent, right? That's what I'm going to be looking for on Sol, and maybe leave it for later, you know, leave it for like, should we clean this chart a little bit? Leave it for like, no, leave that because that's important. This is, I think, from last week. I cleaned that as well. Yeah. I think it's better if we focus on like Bitcoin and Ethereum. At least that's what I'm gonna do, and then just leave Sol for after we have a little bit more confirmation on entries, right? But Bitcoin looks the cleanest at the moment for entries, and that's it. Like I said, we have 3 zones. And these ones are at 75,510.8, right? 73,759.2 and 69.3 K, right? These are the zones. And I can see already here on the daily, we have some support sitting at, actually, let's mark that. Let's mark that. We have some support sitting at 65,052. This is only in a case scenario where, you know, the S&P starts dropping down and wants to take that liquidity here, right? Can we do a projection on that? We can definitely do a projection. 10%. 10% drop. I don't believe in Sebastian, I don't believe in astrology, but then again, TA is astrology for men. Well done. Whitney Cummings. Yes, she's one of the greatest comedians. I love her so much. She is so funny. She did a stand-up saying that crypto is astrology for men. I thought that was so funny. Oh my god, she is so funny. Yeah, you guys, so that's for today. This was the short. If we didn't catch it, we didn't catch it. It is what it is. From then on, next zone I'm looking at is 75,510.8. Are you still bullish on DOT? Yeah, absolutely. DOT is same thing. DOT is one of the reasons why, you know, when I woke up this morning and I looked at the charts and I was like, this is the low and this is our liquidity here. No way. Like, there is definitely another drop coming, because look at it. It is a double formation liquidity, and until that liquidity, we have another 7.6% from now to then. And I have expected for price to drop even further. So this is my, just like an entry that is out of nowhere, actually, because there is no price data. But I think that somewhere around that area is where we're gonna when I'm gonna start looking for longs on DOT, because yeah, this double liquidity for me is a big opportunity, and I'm gonna be part of that. I don't think we have a lot of bullish catalysts anymore, but let's see. Yeah, I'd say don't lose hope, because we don't want to be losing hope right now, right? Just don't sell when everything is low. That's what CZ said on Twitter, and I agree with him, right? Don't buy high and don't sell low. I was like, CZ, you get it. I'm gonna work out a little bit on how I can clean this chart for us, so it's a little bit more visible what we're looking for. But all these levels are extremely important for me, so you know, I want to have them all marked. But again, just as a summary, 75,510, 73,700, 72,764. These are the areas that I'm interested in. And also, if we get a massive drop, I'm looking for this whole area starting at around the 69K level, all the way, could be wicked at around the 65 for a massive liquidation. And then taking that low here and then calling it a day, because once we take that low, guess what? We're gonna go for this liquidity, the all-time high on Bitcoin, which is liquidity, which is why I'm confident that we're not done yet with this bull run. All right, you guys, so let's talk a little bit about the trading challenge. Actually, there is not much to say. There is not much to say about the trading challenge, but it's a $1,000 challenge. So we're gonna trade $1,000, not more, not less. I don't know. Let me know if you guys think, because I know some of you guys can't afford like to trade $1,000, and that's absolutely fine. We've all started from somewhere, so I do understand that. But I'm gonna look at this challenge in terms of percentages. So how much percentages have you made, right? And we're gonna have all the people that are entering this challenge. You guys are gonna let me know on Discord, and then we're gonna make a list. And on the 10th of April, that's when I decided. On the 10th of April, we're gonna find out who made the highest percentage, and then we're gonna give away $200 to that person who made the highest percentage. Will it be on a specific exchange? Yes. So it's gonna have to be on Bluffin, so I can track everything. I mean, I don't have that amount of access or anything to track it, but you guys are gonna let me know. Or if you have any ideas on how we can do it, like everyone can send like profit and loss cards, for example, and then we can see. Or another thing we can do is we can have, I don't know, a spreadsheet where we add our results, and then we see who made the most. I don't know. We'll see. I'll come back to you on that. Maybe we open up a copy trade account. Why would you open a copy trade account? How would that work? I don't think that would work because I already have a copy trade account, but like the idea is you guys trade and take your trades and manage your risk, and then we see who wins, right? It's not about copy trading anyone. You have to trade. That's the whole idea. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's possible. I think everyone can open a copy trading account. Yeah, we can discuss that on Discord and see how we go about it. Right? We can check that. Task pinball. That's not a bad idea, actually. Let's see what we're printing here. This is my cleaner chart. I have two charts on Bitcoin that I want to watch. One with all my indicators and levels, and another one that's a little bit cleaner. So that's the weekly candle that we're printing right now. Yeah, on a daily, of course, we have our high time frame liquidity, which is nice to see. We know that we're going to come back into that area. We've cleared the 12-hour liquidity. Yeah. Still a drop. We want to see a substantial reaction from our zones, right? We want to see a big rejection candle, and then we're gonna be finding entries. It's gonna be very, usually it's very clean when you see it, but it's just gonna happen so fast that not many people are gonna be able to participate in it, which is unfortunate. Which is why I like to have few limit orders set down here on the levels, right? Because we're looking at how many levels here? 75,510, 1, 73,759 is another one, maybe with a bigger stop loss, or maybe another third order at 72. And then the last order is going to be at around 69,000, or 50% of that, something like that. And if we miss it, we're just going to enter on a breakup structure and a retest. That's also a good way for us to catch it. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Really be careful with new limit longs. Let's wait for the 73K level. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna be very, very careful. I don't wanna gamble anymore. I'm telling you, like, this is just, everyone is doing it and everyone is getting wrecked right now. So I don't want to be one of these people anymore. Like, I'm completely done. Honestly, it's getting exhausting for me as well. It's just hard. So we have to be patient to be able to, like, when the moment comes, we actually do something, right? We're not like scared and so burned that we're not able to take the opportunity anymore, because this is what happens, right? So many people get burned and scared that they just don't take the opportunity. And then they're FOMO, and it doesn't even work. So yeah, that's for today, you guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I really appreciate it. I'll probably check the video and see, maybe I'll do some edits and I'll post it. You guys like the video if you haven't liked it. Yeah, and thank you so much for being here. Let's end. I'll see you guys on Discord, right? Don't forget.